and I'm very glad that another group has picked it up, even though they emphasize music rather than storytelling. What else am I doing? Oh, and from that storytelling festival, here were all these Emma Gill volunteers that had fallen in love with storytelling, and that's when we started the Tale Tellers. I was president of that for 3 years, and they've been meeting at my house for 10 years, including tomorrow night.
Charlie and Brett, right?
If I ever get my free coffee box up and the chair. But anyway, I have just loved living in St. Augustine and having all these wonderful things to do. And thank you for cheering me up. This is been my husband's 96th birthday. He's been gone for 3 years now. But still he's around somewhere.
Sister Diane? I'm Sister Diane Couture. I'm a sister of St. Joseph, and I'm an international glass artist.
Oh.
And we do, I studied under a German glass painter, and so we do all of the German glass painting as you see in Europe. And so we've had the studio. I've been painting in the studio now for 31 years. So we've done a few pieces. And so it's
Where is your studio?
the studio is about 3 miles from US 1 up State Road 16. We're actually in a warehouse setting. We're out near the St. Johns County Maintenance Department out there, and we have a 2,500 square foot studio.
You need it.
And so we do very large windows. And right now we're doing completely 100% European style windows for St. Patrick's Church in North Jacksonville. They built a new space. And we're also, probably one of our greatest honors has been, we did the memorial window for 9/11 in New York. So it's on display, a permanent shrine at St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church there across from Penn Station.
Wow.
So we've been very fortunate, and it's my passion, like we all have our areas of passion. It keeps us sane. Some people don't think so. But artists sane. So I also, which is, if you're going to, my philosophy or my belief is that if you're going to create art, you need to teach it. So I had the great opportunity. I ran the 4-year degree program at Flagler College in stained glass art. So we were able to encourage many of the students who took the classes it ran for about 6 years at Flagler. And so they were fully certified by the Stained Glass Association of America when they came out. So anyway, that's what I do besides other things, as we all do. Ann?
I'm Ann Kraft. With Jean Mayer, I'm the co-founder of the Limelight Theater. After 14 years, I retired, and I'm with Jean's other company. You seem to be joined at the hip. But we make a good team. I'm the emotional one. She's the practical one. You got to work that out. And we are so pleased to be doing the story of Debbie McDade. It's so exciting to be able to do an original musical about a local hero. Very exciting. About me, of course, theater is my passion. I'm also an actor and a director, and my latest passion is ballroom dancing.
Should be entertaining afterwards. Mary?
I'm Mary R.O.W.I.T.A. I'm a retired theatrical costume maker from Florida School of the Arts. And I had to quit. I loved making costumes, but I had to quit when I discovered quilting. So now I make quilts. And in November, one of my quilts was accepted at the Smithsonian Institution.
She has cards that have a picture of the quilt on it. And I just want to read the quote that's at the top. It kind of reminds me of this group. our patchwork heritage is a strength.
That's a quotation from Obama's first inaugural address.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm Kay Burton. I came back to St. Augustine. I grew up here. But I came back to St. Augustine in 1972, and I've been with the Art Association ever since. I rest my case.
I'm Faith Tiberio. I am a working person. I am the head of a company that makes fiber optics. And it was our company and our fiber optics that saved Captain Phillips when he was overtaken by the Somali pirates. And I gave my men, I have 100 employees, I gave my men the day off because it was a wonderful thing. It was accomplished. But we make very secret things, which I can't disclose to you.
Oh, sure, no, it's all
We won't tell. But I did grow up in St. Augustine. I used to go by Victor Rayner's shop. May I use the word shop?
Photography studio.
Thank you. Photography studio. And admire his work because he was an artist, a true artist. And St. Augustine has been blessed with artists. And you should be very proud of yourselves. I love coming back here. I intend to spend the rest of I'm 91 now. And I expect to spend a few more years with all of you because you're wonderful.
Okay, I am Sally Rast-Walton.
Wait a minute. Who in this room has taken lessons from Sally, or has had a daughter or a grandchild take a lesson?
Look at Kathy behind. Yeah, I taught 3 generations, over the years, and it's sometimes at the same time. So anyway, I'm a proud heritage native, double heritage of St. Augustine. Was born here, Minorcan descent. Have traveled all around the world, but always came back to St. Augustine. You don't leave paradise, you come back each time. So, ran 3 dance studios, taught 300 children a week, and loved every one of them. I had been so fortunate to have God bless me with not only the talent, but at that time the patience to teach the children. But I wasn't there to teach them dancing. I was there to teach them to be able to have the confidence to get up and speak and read and say poetry and to present themselves or to conduct a meeting, even if it was a little 4-H meeting or some small meeting that they have at school. They all had to learn on the microphone. They all had to learn to speak on the microphone and be able to present themselves each time they came into class. Loved every minute of it. I studied in New York, I studied in Atlanta, Miami, Spain, and St. Augustine is the place to be. Let me say one more thing. I was so honored to be presented with the award by R.O.W.I.T.A in 2011, and I also was honored to go to school with Tommy.
I'm Diane Bradley. I'm the current president of the St. Augustine Art Association and have been for the last 8 years. And I was an art teacher for my career for 30 years before retiring down to wonderful St. Augustine. And it was the Art Association that really drew me in, and I said to my husband, Bill, we have to settle here. And we've been here for 16 years now. And when I initially started, Kay Burton was she was the administrator of the Art Association, so I always tell people I learned under the best. And Faith and her husband Ty were the generous donors who funded the wings that were added onto the Art Association. So as a result of that, it's grown and it's just become this wonderful place. And the last, about 3 years ago, my husband Bill and I decided we wanted to leave a legacy to the City of St. Augustine for the 450th, as well as to the Art Association. And we were instrumental in raising the money for the exterior renovations and the sculpture work that you are seeing this being put in there.
Which is beautiful.
I'm Jan Miller. I'm an artist, moved here from Chicago, and in 1995 I opened my own gallery, had it for 4 years, and during that time it was a group of people, other artists and galleries that got together and we began the art walks, and the art walks have been going steady ever since then. Thereafter I opened the Butterfield Garage Art Gallery, and this month, February, we celebrate our 17th year in business. We have 33 artists, and anyway, so that was Butterfield. And then I've also been the past president. I just relinquished that, but 2 years for the Art Galleries of St. Augustine. I was their president. And I'm also, for 8 years, I was the membership chairman for a statewide organization of professional artists. Yeah, called FLAG, Florida Artists Group. So that's what I did.
Yay.
Barbara? I'm going with you. Kathleen, I'm sorry.
I didn't recognize the name. I thought I was
That's what I was thinking. We have a mutual friend named Barbara.
I'm Kathy Vandenberg. We moved here in 2003, and I began conducting the St. Augustine Community Chorus soon thereafter, and so I was their conductor for 10 years. I just returned about 2 weeks ago from New York City, where my chamber music singers sang a premiere at Carnegie Hall of Carol Barnett's new work. It's called Mortals and Angels, a Bluegrass Te Deum, and we sang with Daly and Vincent, who are one of the premier bluegrass bands in the nation. They are coming here to Ponte Vedra Concert Hall on April 7, and we're going to sing with them. So I hope you get your tickets. You will love them. They're just terrific. And so I do a lot of accompanying. I have a church choir, and the church, I do the music at St. Cyprian's. And I taught at Flagler College for about 5 years. But I think one of my greatest joys was before I came here. Actually, I had a vocal jazz group that traveled for 10 years all around the nation, from California down here to Florida when I taught in Atlanta. One of the things I love doing now is that Ann Kraft and I are co-chair of Romanza Festival. And we are excited to be presenting the musical about Debbie McDade at the festival for several performances that we are promoting. And it's a wonderful 10 days. I have to say, don't miss anything. We have Cantus, which is a male vocal ensemble from Minneapolis, singing in the Basilica. We have the Big Orange Chorus. We have Kaleidoscope of Dance. Just so many chamber music series. So that's what Ann and I are busy with. Oh, she's busy with life or something. That's really what we're busy with. Thank you. But receiving the award was just so unexpected and such a delight. Thank you so much.
I'm Wendy Tatter. My first experience of art in St. Augustine was selling my art out of Gypsy Cab restaurant. And then Butterfield Garage wonderfully asked me to be a member there, and I was a member there for 4 or 5 years. And then I opened my own gallery on San Marco Avenue, where I browbeat everyone into starting Uptown Saturday Night. And that's been great. And then I closed my gallery, went away for a couple years, and then opened another gallery on the beach, which was fine and wonderful. But I decided that what I really want to do is be a prison reform advocate. So now I give talks whenever anyone asks me, if anyone needs me. I do talks about prison reform and the things that can be changed. So.
Let me also say that Compassion St. Augustine is working with Wendy on this.
In a huge way.
In a huge
They're my
way.
backers.
Yeah, I have to say that because my husband's the president of St. Augustine.
It's fabulous. They've been, Compassionate St. Augustine has been like behind me from the word go, and they are wonderful. So everybody should come to our next meeting.
And last, but definitely not least, because Margot Pope just walked in the room. Wendy?
Too many other, I'm sorry.
Oh, the other Wendy.
The other Wendy, I'm thinking.
Yeah, there are two Wendy's.
Yeah. I think so.
Got confused.
Wendy the blonde and Wendy the hair. So my name is Wendy Mandel McDaniel, digital artist. Lived here for about 20, I think almost 25 years. I've been involved with supporting the arts, my husband and I, since we've been here actually, and my kids are all artists, and I'm very proud of all of them. I've done a lot of public art with other artists around town, and yeah, and I'm really honored to be part of this group. So.
Margot, we're introducing ourselves as past R.O.W.I.T.A awardees,
okay.
so it's your up.
Oh.
Your turn, you made it just in time.
My name is Margot Pope, and I had a 42-year career in journalism, working full-time for the Florida Times Union and then the St. Augustine Record, holding various positions. And I had a lot of fun. I actually started my career in high school, but they didn't pay me then. And since my retirement in 2012, when I said I was going to get out at the top of the game and start paying more attention to my 3-year-old grandchild, I have done a lot of freelance writing. I wrote the latest church history for the cathedral, and that came out in 2013. And it's not that we wrote a new history, we added to the history that 3 other people had put together. And as usual with history, you find out things that you thought 20 years ago were fact have been proven otherwise. So there were some revisions, which you have to handle very delicately. And I've also done some work for the Florida Humanities Council Forum and written for Associated Press and freelanced for the Diocese of St. Augustine, and I'm back freelancing now for the St. Augustine Records.
Have I forgotten anyone? Any of our past winners? Oh, I think we got everybody.
Jean.
Oh, Jean, yes! Our host!
If I were a member of this group, I would be so jealous. So I thank you for letting me be a member, and my biggest joy is being Debbie McDade's best friend.
So, just think what St. Augustine, St. John's County would look like if none of you were here. I mean, listening to all of you, it's pretty amazing the accomplishments that have taken place because of everybody in this room. I mean, I'm blown away. I mean, I thought I volunteered a lot, but you guys put me to shame. So, that takes us to the next step. A couple of years after Dr. Gail Plasker and I started the R.O.W.I.T.A Awards, something was gnawed at me and it just wasn't enough. And I'm thinking, so what are we missing? Well, it was the youth. You know, we need to nurture the people coming up so we have future R.O.W.I.T.A people to celebrate. So I decided that we would start a Junior R.O.W.I.T A Fellowship, which is an award given to a graduating high school senior who is going to continue their studies in the arts through either going through a college or a workshop or continue